Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to make Neapolitan pizza in about an hour. As you can see here, the results look amazing. With a big crust full of air, soft inside, crunchy outside, and all this in about over an hour worth of work, most of which is actually waiting and doing nothing. I do not recommend you do this, and instead use poolish or sourdough to make your pizza. Stick around to learn why. For ingredients, we're going to have 2 teaspoons or 12 g of salt, 1 teaspoon of olive oil, 460 g of bread flour, or about 3 cups, 2 g of instant yeast, 350 milliliters of water. And we're going to mix these together by first adding the flour and the yeast and dry mixing them together. Then we add the water. Then the olive oil. The salt. And start mixing that well. You'll see it will get dry, and all that means is keep on mixing until it becomes sticky. At a certain point, you'll realize it's better to use your hands. Some people ask if they can use their dough or stand mixer. And the answer is, yes, you can. But it's really easy to mess it up because you can easily overwork your dough. And if that happens, you need to throw your work in the trash. Overworking your dough by hand is virtually impossible. Eventually you can poke it and you can tell that it's sticky. And when that happens, you need to dump it in your non-stick working surface and keep mixing by making a few folds, just to make sure there's nothing still dry there. Then you need to start kneading. There are a few ways of kneading. I would argue there's no wrong way. For example, some people grab and stretch, turning the dough 90 degrees and then stretching again, like so. If it gets really sticky, some people simply stretch using both of their hands and folding and stretching again, like you see here. But for something really sticky, I like to just leave it alone. 10 mins at least should be enough, but the longer you leave it alone, the easier the dough is to handle. It just magically unsticks itself. And at this point you do a few folds. The easiest thing to do for me is to imagine your dough is a cat, and you just pick up your cat and just twist 90 degrees, and then put the cat back down with the hind legs first. And again, you can continue with the kneading, but I must tell you, I don't like this way. There's a couple of things you can do that makes the dough get the same effects as kneading the traditional way. In this method, you can cut your dough in small pieces. Notice I'm saying cutting, not pulling apart, and this works well when your dough is very wet. Cutting and leaving the dough alone will work wonders if you have an extremely wet dough, which in this case here for this pizza we're trying to make here, you should not have to do this. My preferred method for kneading is this method of pretending the dough is a t-shirt and you're stretching the dough as far as you can on the table. At first, you might see there are several tears, and that means your gluten hasn't strengthened yet. So this is an easy way to know whether you're done with the kneading part. After stretching it, you fold everything back in, and you make a burrito out of it. And you start picking up that cat again so you can turn that dough into a nice round ball. And we just leave it alone again. The longer, the better. I normally do 20 mins and even 30 mins. And the process restarts again. We're making a nice ball. Then stretching again like a t-shirt. And we'll determine whether we're done with the kneading, judging by how far we can stretch this t-shirt without creating too many tears. As you see here, we only have a few tears, so our gluten is getting stronger, and you can feel it as you're stretching it, but we're not there yet. So we'll fold into a burrito, pick up our cat and shape it into a ball, and leave it alone again. Once again, coming here the third time, we repeat the process all over. since we're not satisfied, we're going to give it another rest. By the fourth time, we can see now the gluten is stronger, so hooray, no more kneading for us. What we're going to do now is weigh it so we can split it into 3 equal pieces. And now we have 3 little kittens that want to be shaped into nice smooth balls. We're going to put a little olive oil on top, so when we cover these, they won't stick. An hour later, we're going to get our first dough and sprinkle it abundantly with semolina flour. And we're going to start pushing down on our dough, starting from the center and working our way out. We're going to pick it up and put it in our knuckles and gently rotate. You don't have to stretch really with your hands, just let gravity do most of the work. Then we'll put that in the pizza peel, and you want to make sure there's a little bit of semolina in the peel. And there's a little problem with my dough. I had to pinch it together. This is maybe the first reason why you shouldn't do this quick pizza, because it breaks really easily as opposed to using a preferment that renders your pizza really flexible. But anyway, here we are on the pizza peel, and we can add our tomato sauce. You can see here how to make it. And you also want to put a little bit of olive oil around the edges. Be very careful not to put it on the pizza peel, or your pizza will get stuck on the peel as you're trying to unload it into the oven, or worse, you can catch your house on fire if the oil hits the oven directly. And we put it in the oven on a pizza stone. As you can see, we have a problem. This is what happens when you're trying to make a pizza in such a short amount of time. The dough is not very plastic, and so you can still make holes if you stretch it too far. All right, do over. Okay, and back in the oven for 3 to 4 minutes at maximum temperature. And looking good. Now we add the cheese, and we do this as a second step so we don't burn the cheese. And we leave it for 2 or 3 minutes. Add some fresh basil, and that's it. You're looking at this and you're thinking, this looks great. But trust me, the bread part of the pizza, it tastes like regular bread. It's not going to taste as amazing as a pizza made with poolish or sourdough, which takes many hours or even days. And of course, it's not going to have all the nutrients that you get when you use those types of preferments. That being said, I bet for 90% of the people living outside of Italy or France or other countries known for a strong bread tradition, if you give them this pizza, they're going to think it's still amazing. So the odds are forever in your favor for this quick pizza. Enjoy.